Hello there and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the greatest video game characters of all time. The main criteria is that the characters have psychological or emotional depth, subtlety, intrigue and charisma, as well as character development over the course of the game or franchise. The only other constraint is that they are playable characters as opposed to NPCs, a category I'll likely make a separate video on, so let's jump straight in. And kicking things off at number 10 is Nathan Drake. The central character and protagonist from the Uncharted series makes the list for his diverse set of character traits and his evolution over the course of the games. He starts off as a carefree, thrill-seeking adventurer and evolves into a more mature, responsible individual who grapples with the consequences of his actions. This in many ways mirrors the emotional development of many young men who are filled with motivation and unrefined energy. As Nathan matures, his growth is marked by an increased awareness of the impact of his adventures on those he loves and cares about. Despite this, he maintains his charm, humor and relatability, making him one of the most charismatic protagonists in gaming. And at number 9 is Commander Shepard. This is one of those characters who follows a natural development path, but in addition the player helps shape their journey and the specifics. Not only do you decide from the get-go the gender, past history and skill set of Shepard, but throughout the game you decide whether he or she is altruistic and a compassionate leader with a strong moral compass, or the blunt, unwavering figure who doesn't take no for an answer. Shepard's relationship with the crew, especially key characters like Garrus, Liara and Tali, adds significant emotional weight to the story. This also enhances the emotional stakes of the narrative and mission, for these bonds can easily have tragic conclusions. In addition, Shepard's journey is filled with difficult moral choices, the burden of leadership, and the constant threats from around the galaxy. The internal struggles of duty, sacrifice, and survival are central to their character. And at number 8 is Aloy. From the immersive world of the Horizon series, Aloy's quest to uncover the truth about her origins and the world around her is central to her character development. Her growth from outcast to leader is very profound, empowering and emotional. Her depth of character is also a huge part of what makes these games great, in addition to the incredible world design. Her intelligence, resourcefulness, empathy and determination to learn about her past are just a few of the reasons why she makes this list. Her character is central to the game's exploration of identity, technology and survival. And at number 7 is Solid Snake. The long-running Metal Gear series features more than one playable character, but arguably the most definitive is Solid Snake. His journey is marked by his struggle with his own identity, purpose and the ethics of his actions. His internal conflicts, especially concerning his role as a clone and his place in the world, add significant depth to his character. Snake's cool, calculated demeanour, combined with his tactical brilliance and occasional humour, make him charismatic and a memorable protagonist. His iconic voice and mannerisms have become synonymous with the character. Possessing an IQ of 180 and being fluent in 6 languages also adds to his intrigue. With his intelligence and his hardened mentality, Snake is clearly one of the most interesting characters in gaming history. And at number 6 is Ellie. Across the Last of Us gaming series, Ellie is one of the central characters and the one that undergoes a huge amount of physical and emotional growth. Beginning as a naive, vulnerable child and becoming a hardened, vengeful young woman is one of the most immense character arcs in gaming. Her journey is deeply emotional, driven by the losses she endures and her quest for revenge. Her relationships with Joel, Dina and others showcase her capacity for love, hate and everything in between. Ellie's charisma, combined with her vulnerability and determination, makes her a character that resonates strongly with players. And of course, her story is filled with iconic, heartbreaking moments that leave a lasting impact. Moving on to number 5 is Geralt of Rivia. The Witcher operates in a world filled with moral grey areas, and his choices often reflect the complexity of the world around him. His reluctance to take sides, yet his strong personal code, make him a deeply nuanced character. With the length of the games and the spin-off TV series, you get to witness him with a huge range of different scenarios and predicaments, and as a player often influence many of the specifics. His dry wit, sharp intelligence, and understated charisma make him a compelling character overall. From his wild adventures filled with mythical creatures to his relationships with characters like Yennefer and Ciri demonstrate his depth and his appeal. And at number 4 is Lara Croft, one of the most cherished game series of all time and usually at the forefront of graphical innovation. The Tomb Raider series gave life to the female adventurer protagonist, which is much more common today, and we've seen her development and redefinition over a long-running series. Her journey from inexperienced adventurer in the rebooted series to a seasoned explorer highlights her resilience and growth. Her ability to overcome physical and emotional challenges adds depth to her character. Her sheer determination despite the loss and struggle with her father's passing, and her sense of responsibility for her legacy provides a strong emotional foundation to her character. Lastly, her intelligence, resourcefulness, athleticism, and unyielding determination gives her a strong presence while also making her admirable yet relatable. And at number 3 is Arthur Morgan. Arthur's journey from a loyal outlaw to a man seeking redemption is one of the most compelling character arcs in gaming. His internal conflict about his past actions and the choices he makes in the face of his impending mortality creates a powerful narrative. The relationships he forges over the game with gang members and friends showcase his emotional complexity. His letters and journal entries further reveal his introspective nature, and throughout the game he retains a rough charisma and dry wit combined with his poignant and often heartbreaking moments in his story. This makes him a deeply memorable character overall, and his actions are often influenced by the player, making the moral journey feel personal and impactful. And at number 2 is Joel from The Last of Us. Both Ellie and Joel have amazing character arcs and stories, but I'm giving Joel the edge here because of the foundational story setup in the first game. From the very start we witness the emotional weight of his situation, but despite this he always rises to the challenge and maintains his role as a father figure to many characters, but most notably Ellie. I've often said that the opening 20 minutes of the first Last of Us game is one of the most emotional and poignant in any game I've ever played. Joel is a character defined by his morally ambiguous decisions, particularly the controversial choice at the end of the first game. Many of his actions are driven by a deep sense of loss and a desire to protect those he loves, making him both relatable and tragic. Joel's relationship with Ellie is central to his character development. The bond they form is filled with moments of vulnerability and tenderness, showing a softer side to Joel despite his hardened exterior. And that leaves the number 1 spot, which I've given to Kratos from God of War. You could make a case for Atreus being in this list, but I think it's fair to say that most of the development and intrigue lies within Kratos. Having a deep backstory predating the events of the recent God of War games, Kratos transforms from a rage-fueled Spartan warrior driven by vengeance in the original series to a more complex character grappling with his past and seeking redemption in the 2018 reboot. His evolution as a father adds layers of depth to his character. The emotional development over the course of the 2 games is arguably one of the most profound and poignant in any game, which is captured in the subtle reactions and expressions that adapt over the story. Despite his brutal exterior, Kratos is a character of few words whose actions and decisions speak volumes. His stoic demeanor contrasts with moments of tenderness and regret, adds to his charisma. For a rebooted character to become one of, if not the most unforgettable character in gaming history, is a testament to the writing and attention to detail that went into these games. If you haven't played it before, I'd highly recommend playing the God of War series. And that's it for this one. As usual, feel free to agree or disagree with the list. Feel free to add your own suggestions in the comments. I'd always appreciate if you could like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.